So let's go ahead and get started then. Hi, everyone. My name is Liz. I'm part of the growth team here at DFINITY, and welcome to the community conversations. So essentially, this is an opportunity to chat live around upcoming contributions to the internet computer and other technological developments within our ecosystem. There is a live Q&A. We love all of your questions. Keep things spicy, keep them coming. We'd love to answer them at the end of the session. So today, our very own Senior Developer Relations Engineer, Igor Lilic, and I will go over fundamental concepts around the IC, as well as the tools and resources to help you get started building on the IC. So without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can see it. Give me 1 second. All right, so before talking about building on the internet computer, we wanted to give a little bit of an intro of, what is the internet computer? What is the context of the internet computer as it relates to blockchain overall, and just go through some fundamental concepts and terms. So looking at the past couple of years in the blockchain industry. So we started out with Bitcoin, which you can consider as digital gold, a store of value, a medium of exchange. Bitcoin was revolutionary because it was the world's first blockchain and cryptocurrency. So what this means is that for the first time ever, a currency was created purely through code without the backing of a centralized authority with which people could transact globally. So then building upon Bitcoin, the next great innovation in blockchain was Ethereum, which extends the functionality of Bitcoin through smart contracts, powering a DeFi and NFT revolution. The programmability of Ethereum means that it is so much more than just a digital currency. It's also a platform upon which developers can both build and monetize their apps. So another way of thinking about this, which was at least very helpful to me personally, is the analogy of how the iPhone transformed the phone into a platform which could run any number of applications, including a phone application, which opened up new ways for developers to monetize. We see something very similar with Ethereum. So to date, more than 3,500 applications have been built on Ethereum, and there are around 200,000 smart contract developers for Ethereum globally. So that brings us to our current great innovation in blockchain today, the internet computer. So just looking at the three things on the screen here, one way of thinking about the internet computer is that it is on a continuum running from a pure cryptocurrency through a highly optimized blockchain computer. So said differently, on the spectrum is Bitcoin, a pure cryptocurrency designed as digital gold. Then there's Ethereum, a programmable cryptocurrency capable of supporting sophisticated DeFi, to the internet computer, which can run basically anything that you can conceive. The internet computer is created by a protocol called ICP, which runs on the current internet protocols. And the internet computer combines the compute capacity of special node machines that are run en masse by independent data centers around the world into a blockchain protocol. So, one note on Ethereum, I personally am a very big fan. There's a wonderful community, wonderful ecosystem, but the fact of the matter is Ethereum wasn't built to have the world's services running upon it. And as one example of this, to store 1 gigabyte of data inside a smart contract on the Ethereum network would just be like prohibitively expensive. And on the internet computer, it's orders of magnitude cheaper. So, this is a little image of what the internet computer looks like resting on the existing internet protocol. So why build on the internet computer at all? When you think about traditional IT, it is positively Frankensteinian. So we construct new systems and services using a bunch of different things, including proprietary cloud services, server machines, databases, middleware, web servers, backup systems, load balancer CDNs, and many other things. And on top of that, all of these things are insecure by default. So the internet computer solves this by enabling us to build upon a web speed, unbounded blockchain network whose security derives from the underlying mathematics of its protocols, ensuring that hosted code runs in a tamper-proof way. All right, So this is my personal favorite section of this presentation. Love talking about WebAssembly. It's if you've heard of the Internet Computer and are new to it, it's probably something that you've heard before. It's also abbreviated to WASM. So what is WebAssembly and what is it really used for? So when you write code in a programming language to be executed, it needs to be converted into machine code. So stated differently, computers, they do not understand human language. They only understand zeros and ones. However, different computers, different hardware understand different machine codes and could represent the outputs into slightly different strings of zeros and ones. So in contrast to your individual machine, the web browser is highly portable and machine agnostic, making it a truly universal platform for programs. But the problem is, for 2 decades now, we've really only had one programming language available to use natively in a web browser, JavaScript, due to historical reasons. So Brendan Eich coded JavaScript in 2 weeks when he was working at Netscape. JavaScript is not ideal for running big complex applications in the browser, and also would be a pretty heavy lift to rewrite non-JavaScript libraries and modules and et cetera, in JavaScript. Enter WebAssembly. So what it enables us to do is write code in multiple languages and have it run at near native speed on the web. And WebAssembly was created by our very own Andreas Rosberg, who now works at DFINITY Foundation. So WebAssembly is a low-level assembly-like language that is not written by humans, but is a compilation target for other existing languages like C, C++, Rust, and AssemblyScript, and many more. So basically, you can use programming languages that you already know, which then compile down to WebAssembly and execute in the browser. So WebAssembly has huge implications for the web platform. It provides a way to run code written in multiple languages on the web at near native speed with highly computationally intensive apps running in the web that couldn't previously have done so. And WebAssembly isn't just something that DFINITY uses. It's a web standard just like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, with support for major browsers like Firefox, Chrome, Safari, and Edge. Right, so moving on, what exactly is a canister? A canister is a computational unit that can hold both program and state. It is where all code, data, and software lives and is executed on the Internet Computer. So all apps and software created on the Internet Computer is comprised of canisters. They are powered by burning cycles, which represent computational power that they can use on the network. So you can build front ends, back ends, apps, et cetera, anything in them. So think smart contracts on Ethereum, but evolved to hold entire software services. And they are tamper-proof and governed by the Internet Computer Protocol. Currently, on the back end, you can write canisters in Motoko and Rust, which are both WebAssembly compatible languages. The canisters compile down to WebAssembly, and the code is executed directly in the browser. From a front-end perspective, you can use whatever language or framework you like. So one fundamental difference of the Internet Computer compared to other blockchain platforms is that the end user doesn't need tokens to interact with any apps built on the Internet Computer. Canisters pay for computation. So what that means is that as a developer, you need to ensure that your canisters are topped off with cycles, which is the unit of computation on the Internet Computer, and we'll go into this very shortly. With Ethereum, you do need Ethereum to transact as a user, and I have a feeling that many of the people on this call have transacted with Ethereum, including myself. So moving on to Motoko. The Internet Computer, as I mentioned before, it's a polyglot platform. Any language that compiles down to WebAssembly will eventually be able to be used to build on the Internet Computer. So you might ask, why is there Motoko, this programming language designed for the Internet Computer? So Motoko is a modern programming language designed for developers who want to build the next generation of dApps to run directly on the internet. It's sometimes referred to as the native language of the internet computer because of features which make it optimized for building on the internet computer, such as native Canister support. So it's designed to be approachable for programmers who have some basic familiarity with modern object-oriented and functional programming idioms in JavaScript, Rust, Swift, TypeScript, Java, etc. So what exactly is a wallet? A little bit of crypto 101. Crypto wallets keep your private keys. These are the passwords that give you access to your cryptocurrency safe and accessible, allowing you to send and receive tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They come in many different forms, from hardware wallets like Ledger, which kind of look like a USB stick, to mobile apps like Coinbase Wallet. And unlike a normal wallet, which holds actual cash, crypto wallets technically don't store your crypto. Your holdings live on the blockchain, and they can be accessed using a private key. So your keys prove your ownership of the digital tokens you have and allow you to make transactions. So what that means is if you lose your private keys, you lose access to your tokens, and that's why it's really important to safeguard this. All right, so wallets for ICP specifically. So currently there are several different options. So number one, you can send and receive ICP directly in the terminal, assuming that you have obtained it first, likely from elsewhere, probably in exchange. I will say this is not the most user-friendly and certainly not the way that I like to send and receive ICP. So secondly, you can use a centralized exchange, for example, Coinbase. Thirdly, when you use the NNS dApp, a wallet is created for you already, and you can add additional wallets as well. Fourth, Plug is a browser-based wallet created by Flake, one of our grants recipients. It's honestly beautiful, like a seamless, beautiful experience. Would definitely recommend it. It is very similar to MetaMask if you've used that before. And then lastly, Stoic Wallet is a wallet created by Tonic Labs, one of our grants recipients. And this is by no means the full universe of wallets that will be to come. I'm sure we'll see dozens, in the months to come. So let's chat through cycles. So there are three main use cases for the ICP utility token. The first is converting them to cycles, in which case the ICP are burned, and it is a one-way transaction. So if you have cycles, you cannot convert them back to ICP. Number two, just trading as normal assets. And number three, locking them up in neurons for the sake of participating in network governance. So here are a couple of different ways in which cycles can be obtained. So again, you typically start out with obtaining ICP from an exchange. You can, go through the NNS app to create a canister and top it up with ICP, which are converted to cycles. You can do it all in the terminal. I've done this many times. It's, I would say, not the most fun experience. Or if you have a GitHub account, which is at least 3 months old, with activity within the last month, you are eligible to receive $100 worth of cycles. So that's simply at faucet.definity.org. I would do a demo, but I've already collected it and I cannot collect the cycles again, so I can't walk you through the flow, but it's extremely simple. It's basically logging in with your GitHub. Cool. So now that we've covered what is the internet computer, what is it used for, what are some basic terms, you might be wondering, well, what kind of applications are built on the internet computer? And I could show you a cool slide like this, but I always feel like it's more fun to walk through some demos of actual applications that are built on the internet computer. So let's do a couple of quick demos. So what I think is really interesting about applications that are built on the internet computer is that we've definitely seen certain verticals start to emerge, particularly in gaming and also within social media, which at least I was very pleasantly surprised by. So I'd like to walk you through a very quick futuristic racing game. It has music, so I will turn off my sound for now. Cool. All right. So basically, this is just like, one of the classic racing games that you might have played, when you were growing up. I was just so amazed when I first saw this, and it just like really took me back. And I was like, I can't believe that something like this is built on the internet computer. I'm also really bad with games, so I'm going to stop playing this right now. By the way, Tonic Labs is holding like the first esports tournament for like for Rise of the Magni, if you've ever played that. And I will be participating in that, but I don't have high hopes for like performance. And where is my keynote? Sorry, give me 1 second. That is so bizarre. Okay.
You gotta switch.
All right. Igor, do you want to share your screen? I like don't know why my keynote has gone.
Yeah, it might be on. I can take it. It might be on a different desktop if you swipe over.
I only have one screen. I only have one monitor, so not really sure why that is. But yeah, maybe you could quickly walk through some of the demos.
Yeah. Happy to take over. So
okay.
Apologies for a bit of a technical hiccup, but
Igor?
No worries. So a few other demos that we've got lined up. And some of these are grants recipients. So please feel free to check out definity.org/grants and see if you want to build something, there is grant funding available. So here we have Discover, and this one's actually really easy because they've got URL forwarding, so you could always go to dscvr.1 and it'll redirect you to to the Canister. And so Discover is a Reddit-like open internet platform where there's plenty of sub portals to use the Discover parlance, where folks can kind of create topics that they're interested in and kind of just post and upvote and comment. This is all served from the internet computer blockchain. There is no magic going on here. So, this is pretty responsive and pretty snappy, as you can see. And so the Discover team has done an awesome job building this platform out. Very, very, very fast. Another demo, IC Drive. It is a Dropbox / Google Drive type service here, where we can kind of log in and start to log in with my internet identity real quick, where we can actually, let me see if I have access. I might not have access, sorry. Liz was big. Let's see if this works. Dropbox like platform for storing files on the internet computer. And again, to Liz's point, because WebAssembly is the execution environment for the internet computer, we can build full-fledged end-to-end experiences on the internet computer, which are more than just contracts, more than just tokens, more than just NFTs. We can have full end-to-end experiences. Tonic Labs is an infrastructure team building wallets, building exchanges. You can go to Tonic Labs, you can go to stoicwallet.com and build your wallet. In your wallet, you can actually see the NFTs that you have. Here I've got some Mychronic. We can take a look at Mychronic, which was gifted to me from the ICP Maximalist Telegram group. So shout out to ICP Maximalist. This is my tonic, and thank you for the gift. I missed the donation drop. Was just too busy, and they even have a marketplace again where you can access more chronics and buy and sell. And so shout out to Tonic Labs. I think I'm not whitelisted for IC Drive right now. I think they're still in beta. And so instead we'll go over to District just to show another demo of how people are building on the IC today, building real dApps with real usage, with real features. So I'll again log in with my internet identity here. When I do internal demos, people say that I'm showing off my identity anchor because it's a low number, but I don't mean to do that to show off. I just got an early one, and I didn't realize that it was going to be a point of showing off. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, like another super sleek, modern web experience here on District, where everything is running from chain. Everything is blockchain based, WebAssembly, serving modern web experiences, just like actually probably better than LinkedIn. I don't get the same amount of spam on District that I do get in LinkedIn, and so it's actually a much better user experience. And I am nearly completely all the way there to just moving off of Web 2. I can't wait for the day that I migrate off of Twitter. I'm currently still just using Twitter because it's a marketing platform, more or less, but I do want to move off of it one day. And so, to Liz's point, showing demos speaks louder. One demo speaks a thousand words. You can also go to definity.org/showcase to kind of dive into some of these demos yourself. Use these apps, use these dApps. They are awesome experiences and really showcase the power of the internet computer. So Liz, those are some demos. Do you want me to keep going into the tools and resources, or do you have any other thoughts?
Feel free to keep chugging along. This is great.
Okay, cool. So if you are a newbie to development on the internet computer, kind of what are some ways that you can get started, right? So I think the easiest path to just start hacking on Motoko and on the internet computer, don't want to install anything, don't want to get ICPs, don't want to do the cycles workflow, don't want to do any of this stuff, just want to write some code and see if it works. Your best bet is this little guy here called Motoko Playground. If you go to definity.org/showcase and you just click the pop out to Motoko Playground, it will take you to the Motoko Playground canister. And right away you're in this web IDE experience. Let's click here, hello world, and it should get me started with hello world. And so, okay, let's do a quick, let's orient ourselves really quickly. So we can see here on the left hand side of Motoko Playground, we've got some files, we've got our packages, and we've got canisters. Currently canisters is empty. If we dive into main.mo, which is a source file, a Motoko source file, we can see this actor code for echo, very basic hello world function, say phrase and return phrase. So again, in Motoko Playground, we can actually hit this little deploy button, and our contracts, our canisters, will deploy to the internet computer. Again, no cycles. I didn't have to install an SDK. I didn't have to do anything. I'm just here deploying requesting a new canister to the internet computer from Motoko Playground, and you know, we have a deployment, and now you can see here that our canisters do exist since it has been deployed. And so, you know, live demo, hello world, and I can actually invoke this, and my invocation was made to the internet computer for this hello world app, and I got a response. So hello community conversation. And so, you know, please check out Motoko Playground if you want to, you know, trust but verify. This is actually making an invocation to the production internet computer network. I'm interacting with a with a canister on a blockchain, on our production blockchain, and you know, no installation, no MetaMask, no anything necessary, nothing necessary to interact with Motoko Playground. This is your fastest way to get started writing code on the internet computer. And again, we've got some tutorials here. You can always kind of open a new tutorial and go even deeper. Obviously, the hello world is a very simple set of Motoko code, one file. If we go into game of life, I believe this was developed by our own Claudio Russo, who's very, you know, brilliant, just like all of our colleagues. We're super lucky at the foundation to have really brilliant colleagues. But if you want to see more advanced kind of Motoko examples, you can dive in with these tutorials and you know, explore the code, deploy the code, interact with your canisters, and you know, it's a very kind of smooth experience for just getting started. And again, all of these tutorials will come with readmes that'll help you walk through those examples. So that's Motoko Playground. I encourage everyone to give it a shot, spin the wheels, deploy some canisters, interact with them, and you know, and then you can tell all your friends and family that you're a blockchain developer. I mean, it's that easy. So Motoko Playground was our first kind of entry point. If you want to go beyond Motoko Playground and start building applications, kind of in your local developer experience, you know, developer environment, we do have an SDK that the DFINITY Foundation builds and supports. It's called DFX. And you can find DFX. You can go to definity.org/developers, and you come to this landing page, and we have kind of a get started in 5 minutes. So, you know, I will install the SD. I'll do a live kind of demo here. Copy this install command. We'll get a quick prompt, and DFX will be installing, and all of a sudden, you know, we have our SDK installed on our local environment, and you know, we can create a new project with DFX new hello. So this will generate kind of our new project, our new Motoko based project called hello. And as all of this is building, I'm going to actually switch into Visual Studio Code, which is an IDE that I use for development and actually has support for Motoko, built in. And so you get some nice clean kind of syntax highlighting, etc. And so, you know, Visual Studio Code plus DFX is a very common kind of environment for developing on the internet computer. To get started with Motoko, it's a great path, and again, I won't go through the end of this just because we have to install npm and do a deployment, but from our technical documentation, we have we have hello world examples to get started building on the internet computer. From the developer center here, you can go down to quick start, and the quick start will take you through using DFX. You can actually go straight to the local development, or even if you have ICP and cycles configured, you can go to a network deployment. The super cool thing about deploying on the internet computer is, you got to go through the first steps to get set up to deploy. But if you have your cycles wallet set up, which again takes some steps, deploying to production from command line is just the same command dfx deploy with a -- network IC, and you'll deploy your canisters to the production network, and it's super cool. And then, yeah, so Liz did mention that the internet computer leverages WASM as an execution environment. Our native language is Motoko. Motoko is designed from scratch to kind of be the native language of the internet computer. But again, any programming language that compiles to WebAssembly can be used to create canisters. And so the language that the foundation kind of uses a lot and is kind of the second most well-supported language in our community and our ecosystem right now is Rust. And in these docs as well, you can navigate to building on the internet computer and explore the languages. And under Motoko is Rust. And so there is a Rust quick start as well. So you can use Rust in the DFX workflow. In this tutorial, there are steps to kind of get Rust configured on your local development environment. If you've never done Rust development before, there are a few things you need to install. You'll need to do, some commands, get cargo installed, and kind of like the Rust development, environment set up, just so that you can compile your Rust code into WebAssembly. But after that, it's kind of the same flow, and this Hello World Quick Start will walk you through using DFX with Rust. And I think we want to see even more. We love Motoko, we love Rust. We want to see even more languages. Liz mentioned that this is a polyglot platform. WebAssembly, that is the power of WebAssembly. I think with time, we want to see the community build even more canister development kits for different languages, more agents for different languages. I'm actually a Python developer, so I would love to see a Python agent come through so that I can kind of use Python on my, build little Python apps that are able to interact with canisters. We're not there yet. It's still early days, but this is the future that we see. So it's kind of like a very quick overview of getting started with some tools on the internet computer. And again, DFINITY.org/showcase is a great landing spot to see what the community is building. And really, we don't really exist without the community. We don't exist without our external developers building on top of the internet computer. And so, we are super vested in the long-term success of all of our developer partners. So if you come to DFINITY.org/showcase, you can pop in to all these tools. Again, Plug Wallet or District or Discover, Open Chat, Icy Rocks, all of these tools are available here. Tonic Labs, Motoko Playground. And again, if you want to get started with our SDK, it is DFINITY.org/developers. Giving it a spin, deploying in 5 minutes. And then if you want to dive deeper into the technical documentation, click here on the quick start. and it'll take you there. If you want some free cycles from the cycle faucet, again, both Liz and I have claimed. I kind of love to just refresh this page because I love the confetti dropping down. But if you haven't claimed your free cycles yet, you can do so at faucet.definity.org. Connect your GitHub, and you will be eligible for $100 worth of cycles, and then you can go ahead and again deploy your canisters to the production network once you have some cycles. It's the second fastest path to getting canisters deployed on production. Again, the fastest path would probably be Motoko Playground. These canisters, I didn't mention it, these canisters do have a lifespan. They only live for about 20 minutes, so it's not a permanent deployment. It's definitely meant to be a test environment, but it is the fastest way to get started. The second fastest way to get cycles would be the faucet. And then if those two options aren't right for you, then yeah, you can definitely get ICPs, convert them into cycles, and manage your own destiny that way. But that is just a quick overview of some of the tools. Liz, I'm happy to hand it back over to you. Have you figured out your desktop? Are you good to take control back?
There's something weird going on with Keynote, but I would love to do a quick little demo of deploying something on Fleek, just because I'm such a fan of their suite of products. So I will steal the screen share away from you. All right. And now my Keynote's back. And can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Cool. So here is the Sudoku app that I submitted for the season 1 of Discover's hackathon. Plug for season 2 of Discover hackathon around integrated games. So I found essentially just like a repo online forked it, and I am going to deploy it on Fleek because I love the thrill of a live demo. So I will show you exactly how easy it is to deploy something via Fleek. So essentially, just went to fleek.co, and you connect to your GitHub, and you just choose like which one of your repos you want to deploy. So I love this little section here is the deploy log. So if memory serves correctly, I think it'll take probably like a minute or 2 minutes to fully deploy, but it's definitely a little bit thrilling, at least for me, to watch this thing, continue to take down. So while we wait for this, I know that we do have some Q&A already coming through. So Igor, if you're up for it, maybe we can already start tackling some of the questions.
I'm ready to rock.
All right. So let's see. I had seen actually one question in the chat. Maybe Igor, you can tackle this one. So any thoughts on how to slowly migrate an existing site to the internet computer? For example, can I have the front end on the internet computer connected to an API, then incrementally replace the API to make it run completely on the internet computer?
Absolutely. And so actually the flow that Liz is demonstrating right now is one path towards that reality. The internet computer, as I was demoing District and Discover and these dApps their front ends are hosted on the internet computer. So it's not just the back end, smart contract or canister logic that exists on the internet computer. It's also the front end web experience. And so if you're a dApp developer, maybe you're an Ethereum developer or a Solana developer or a Tezos developer or Polkadot developer, whatever kind of blockchain backend that you're used to, chances are your front end is being run on big tech today. Chances are you're using AWS, chances are you're using Azure or DigitalOcean or any of these other service providers to run your front end. And so, you know, that is a big tech kind of centralized platform that you're, you know, we call them dApps. The D is for decentralized. So your dApp is actually decentralized in the back, but centralized in the front. It's kind of like a mullet deployment pattern or something like that. And so this is part of why Fleek's service is super awesome. Like, you can make your dApp a fully decentralized dApp today, keeping your existing backend wherever it's pointing, wherever your token or wherever, you know, your DAO governance or your NFT logic exists on whatever backend it exists on. And you can deploy the front end to the internet computer, and the logic will still be pointing to wherever, you know, wherever that service backend is, but it will be running on the decentralized internet computer. And so you will be striking big tech out of your stack and making your dApp more resilient. I don't have a link to it right now. If some of our chat wizards can find the link. A perfect example of that is the Uniswap front end. So, you know, Uniswap is going through this evolution process where it's becoming more and more mainstream. And for better or for worse, the more mainstream you get, the more kind of the less like cypherpunk you get. And so, you know, the Uniswap front end is actually delisting some tokens from its user interface. Now, you can still trade those tokens on the back end, but the front end that you use on uniswap.info won't have those tokens listed. And so one thing that the community can do is kind of take a version of the Uniswap front end prior to, you know, that deny listed set of tokens, deploy it to the IC, and now there's a decentralized version of that Uniswap interface. And so definitely the answer is yes, you can do it incrementally. And as you become more comfortable with the internet computer development environment and realize the potential of what WebAssembly and Canister smart contracts can do for your dApp, you know, you can start to migrate more of that quote unquote business logic, you know, to the internet computer as well. And so, yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and just to chime in with what Igor is saying, we're seeing this in the realm of NFTs as well. So you guys are probably familiar with CryptoPunks, and from CryptoPunks, there's a bunch of alt punk projects that have emerged, like CryptoFunks, which just like flips the profile on a different axis. There's also like, you know, fast food punks, Gucci punks, et cetera, et cetera. But what we've seen on OpenSea is that there have been some DMCA takedowns of various, you know, NFT projects that occur, which I feel like is definitely not in line with the cypherpunk or decentralization ethos of the space. So what is the guarantee is that when you host a front end asset on the internet computer, there's nobody that can take it down, unless like the entire community of internet computer token holders decides to vote to take it down, but that would basically be the only way. So I had just deployed the Sudoku application on Fleek. So drum roll, I'm going to paste this into the URL now. Let's see what we get. And we get a functioning Sudoku app. Awesome. So Igor's probably crying right now.
You can't put the 1 where you put the 1, and you can't put the 3 where you put the 3. Come on.
It's you know what? It's all worth it just to get the reaction from you, Igor. Cool. So I will stop the share right here. We do have a bunch of different questions in the Q&A. I want to make sure that we get to all of them. So the first one, Igor, I think you can take this one because you have been working on this topic. So somebody asked around the roadmap of the DFINITY Foundation. So do you want to talk through the roadmap page and some of the upcoming proposals?
Yeah, for sure. So, the thing about the internet computer is that it has been designed from the ground up to be a decentralized platform with decentralized governance through what we call the network nervous system, the NNS, where the whole platform is fully upgradable, fully modular, and driven by community governance. So we have recently launched the roadmap microsite. So I can go back to sharing real quick. So this is definity.org/roadmap. The one thing I do want to emphasize is this is not the roadmap of the internet computer. This is the roadmap of the DFINITY Foundation and what they want to work on with respect to the internet computer. And it's also like a community back and forth process. Eventually, we want to see many different teams building in the internet computer ecosystem and building for the internet computer. And so this is just one aspect of the broader roadmap for the DFINITY Foundation's contributions. And all of these items are subject to community discussion and community voting. And so, in each one of these proposals, you can kind of jump into the forum. Each one of these topics has a forum discussion. And let's see, where is the canister storage? So yeah, the canister storage is increasing canister storage is a topic that the community has been talking about. And this is actually on the roadmap for a community vote coming up. Let's see if I go, sorry for the scrolling. So there was a community conversation yesterday, which if you missed it, the recording will be going up. And then there will be an NNS draft proposal. There will be a proposal submission, and then the voting will end on September 3rd. And so, this is an example of how the community and the NNS is actually voting on the upgrades to the internet computer roadmap. And I will give a shout out to the mega thread for community discussion. Let's see, the mega thread, and Norton's been in here. Lots of community forks, Jordan Last, Anthony MQ, Austin, Cyan. All the folks are diving in here and giving their feedback on what other components of the roadmap should be considered. And so, this is a decentralized platform that requires community collaboration in a bilateral or multilateral conversation. And so the input of all the developers and all the users of the platform are super key to what is on the foundation's roadmap, and hopefully eventually we see more and more teams kind of being contributors to the broader internet computer platform. And again, that microsite here is definity.org/roadmap, and you can dive into each one of these tabs. Each one of these tabs will have a community discussion. And again, the mega thread is literally called mega thread community submissions. I think we'll try to break it out because there's some great ideas here that deserve their own threads and their own conversations. And again, the forum is kind of like one main channel that the foundation has to kind of discuss these kinds of things. And some of the engineers from the foundation, they don't have the time to go across Discord and all the Telegram groups. And so they kind of focus on the forum, but we definitely know there's tons of robust discussions going on in different venues and different parts of the web. And so that's also something that's a big part of, you know, the growth of this platform, is that the conversation takes place in so many different areas of the web, and there's so much ideation going on that makes this, you know, a truly decentralized and collaborative effort.
Definitely. Thanks so much for that, Igor. And I feel like a lot of people are not aware of that DFINITY.org/roadmap page. So definitely encourage everyone to check it out. We do have an upcoming vote for next week around increased canister storage. Would love to see as many people participating in governance as possible. So the next question in the Q&A is also an Igor question. So can you speak to the growth of our developer ecosystem? You know, what are you seeing week over week? What are the factors that are bringing developers to the internet computer?
Yeah, that's a great question. And sorry, I don't have the stats and the links. There's charts and graphs and dashboards. The answer is we are seeing growth every week. Actually, I do have it. I am lying to you all. Boom, dashboard.internetcomputer.org. And here you can see kind of the canister is continuing to grow, identity anchor is continuing to grow. We just released Windows Hello support for internet identity, and so that has brought on a large number of new users. We are continuing to expand, you know, the amount of node providers that are available, and so growth is definitely happening across the entire ecosystem. And one of the things that I'm most proud of, as we kind of are always kind of engaging with our developers and onboarding new developers, and I think I even saw a few folks in this chat say, like, this developer community is so welcoming and so collaborative. And I think, you know, I've been in crypto since, well, a very long time. And I have experienced my fair share of communities that are really only focused on valuations and token price and, you know, all this kind of just like making as much money as quickly as possible and not caring about building and all that stuff. And I could categorically say here with the internet computer developer ecosystem, we care about building, we care about exploring this technology. And it really brings me back to kind of like the early days of being in blockchain and like the enthusiasm and pushing the envelope and trying new things and being open. And I think, you know, to me, WebAssembly is the next chapter in the growth of the web in general. And the fact that WebAssembly is the native kind of execution environment for the internet computer really is really exciting. Like, obviously I don't want the internet computer to go away, but like if the internet computer went away tomorrow, all the developers on the internet computer would be able to retain, you know, all the expertise, all of the knowledge, and continue to use that, because WebAssembly is not going to go away tomorrow. WebAssembly is a web standard, just like HTML is a web standard. And so that kind of spirit of blockchain plus web standards put together in the internet computer makes such fruitful grounds for experimentation and kind of like this building culture. And so the thing that I'm most proud of with respect to our growth metrics is that when a new developer comes to the internet computer developer community, we hear it all the time, and I want to maintain this bar and maintain this standard. They tell us, wow, like the community is so helpful and the community is so friendly and so collaborative that I like want to be here and I want to build here, and it's unlike any other blockchain developer community. And like that's the thing that I'm most proud of, and that's kind of what I want to keep seeing from this community is that collaborative ethos and pushing the envelope of what blockchain means, what dApps mean, what we can do with dApps. You know, Liz demoed that HexGL and she crashed into the wall, so we'll forgive her for not being the best at HexGL. But like, just think about NFTs X gaming, right? And think about your HexGL car being your NFT, you know, and being bespoke to you, like having a rare one of one, like Lambo HexGL, you know, and then think about it being multiplayer and thinking about tournaments, on-chain tournaments, and, you know, and then like the tournament winner, their NFT trophy is actually like the results of the tournament. Like, there's so much cool stuff that's possible, and we're just getting started. And I think, like, you know, from the roadmap of the foundation, we need to just like enable you guys to build all the cool stuff that's on your mind. And then from the community, you know, just keep helping each other and keep pushing each other to get better. And those two things combined, you know, we're just getting started, and it's such an exciting kind of prospect that I just like keeps me going.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, when I think about like Web 2, it transformed the way in which like information could be transacted now online and aggregated. And when I think about Web 3, it's that intersection of information, but as well as like native digital value, which never existed before. I think I had heard that in the early days of Netscape, they were considering adding like native like currencies within the browser, but that's like, I'm sure that's something they're yeah, I'm sure that's something that is a deep regret. But yeah, with the avenue of gaming, NFTs, just like the confluence of a lot of different things, I think we'll see applications that are like just completely unimaginable in the same way in the early 90s. Like, how could you have thought of like Uber and like DoorDash and like, you know, like Cambridge Analytica, like that just seems so crazy, right? So I personally am very much looking forward to what is to come with the open web, and particularly within the internet computer ecosystem. So I want to be cognizant of time. I know we do have some questions. After this community conversation ends, I will see if I can retrieve the questions and answer them on Twitter. Just because we did get, I'm really happy to see the high level of engagement. I want to make sure that we're responding to everyone. So thank you very much for everyone for tuning in. I know there's a lot of different time zones reflected. Thank you so much to Igor, my partner in crime, for this particular community conversation. And we will see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Liz. Bye, everyone.